Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. I took to Twitter and Instagram and asked what I should do next. The options were between 5-star reviews of books that I hated or 5-star predictions of books that are currently on my shelves and 5-star predictions won, so that's what I'm doing. I think for the most part you know how this goes, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. The first book that I have on this list is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I have not yet read this, even though I am dying to get to it because I've heard such great things. I know that the second book, Dragon Republic, is already out, and I believe the third book, Burning God, comes out maybe later this year. I somewhat know what's going on, something about a girl who is training to be a warrior and then this war breaks out and she gets sent into battle. I've heard that there are also some strong trigger warnings for this book, but knowing that ahead of time is good because I appreciate trigger warnings. I think they're really important, but that's not going to stop me from going into it. I've mostly heard really good things about this, so I'm really excited to finally get to it. Hopefully I can do so before the end of the year. The next book is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. If you don't already know, I absolutely love anything that has to do with the Grishaverse. I love Shadow and Bone. I love Six of Crows. The only reason that I have not read this yet is because typically I'm the kind of person who wants to binge a series and not have to wait years in between for the next book to come out. However, I'm starting to get impatient. So if I don't read this by the end of the year, I will in early 2020. I know that the title for the next book has been released and I don't feel like waiting anymore. So hopefully I will get to this soon. I know that it focuses on Nikolai and I loved him from the first book and I love everything about this world. I love the magic and the characters and I just can't wait to get to this one. The next book on this list is Such Fun Age by Kylie Reed. I have heard great things about this, so I'm really excited to get to it. From my understanding, it is about a Black woman who is taking care of a young white child and gets accused of kidnapping that child. I really want to read this book. I really want to support the author, especially after the whole reading rush debacle, which I did not participate in, but I'm really glad that I didn't. So hopefully I can get to this one soon. I don't know if it'll be this year, but if not, it will also be an early 2021 read. For the next book, keep in mind that I just said that typically I like to read the whole series all at once. It is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. How the hell have I not read this? Well, I tried waiting. I really did. But because I don't know when the third one's going to be released and I don't feel like waiting anymore. Somebody's car alarm just went off. I don't feel like waiting anymore, so hopefully I will get to this soon. I have also purchased Children of Virtue and Vengeance. Even though I am excited to get into this, I've been hearing some not so great things about it. In particular, the second book, but that's not going to stop me from going into it. I have limited knowledge about this, but I do know that there is a sort of magic system where there's a connection to African deities, and that sounds really amazing. So I'm really excited to get into this. And like with all the other ones, hopefully it'll be sometime soon. The next book on this list is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha and Young. I don't know if I said that right, but I did look up her pronouncing it, so hopefully I was close at least. This book has been on my list for probably about a year, and the only reason that I finally decided to get it was that my friend Taylor has been raving about it, and she's pretty new to fantasy, so I am excited to get to this. It is another one that has some trigger warnings, so I'll have to keep that in mind going into it. I also purchased the second book, Girls of Storm and Shadow. Don't know anything about the third one, don't know when it's coming out, don't really care. I'm probably going to enjoy this anyway. What I know about it is that there's like consorts that the king chooses every year, and for some reason this year he adds an additional. Two of the girls I think fall in love and then they decide to fuck shit up, which I'm looking forward to, so I'm ready for it. The last book on this list is The Book of Two Ways by Jodi Picoult. If you don't already know, I absolutely love her. Her work is fantastic. My favorite book of all time was written by her, and she is my favorite author. Do I know anything about this book? No. Did I pre-order it without reading the synopsis? Yes. Why? Because I can, and because she is an auto-buy author at this point. I know that I'm gonna like it regardless because there's always some hidden lesson, a really great plot twist. I always learn a lot. She does her research. Do you know how much I learned about elephants from Leaving Time? How much I learned about wolves and Lone Wolf, even though I knew a little bit because we studied them in 3rd grade. But that's not the point. The court scenes are fantastic. There's always something at the very, very end that you were not expecting, and she is just amazing. I think what I'm actually gonna do in a few months is maybe just like spend a month or so reading all of the books that I own by her that I have not read, because there are quite a few, which I'm a little ashamed to say, but I'm gonna get to them eventually. I also just want to share this with you because I had a little bit of a fangirl moment. I tweeted a portion of my Finally Fall book tag where I talked about my favorite book, Small Great Things, and I tweeted Jody just because, and she responded to it. It made my entire day. It was great. I loved it. She's such a sweet human, and her response to the tweet, where very specifically the portion that I showed was me talking about how white authors can write people of color properly if they do their research. She said it made her really happy to hear, and she said thank you, and I just love that woman, and it's just more of a reason why she's my favorite. So that was my little fangirl moment. Back to business. Those are all of the 5-star predictions that I currently have on my shelves. If you've read any of these books, whether you liked them or hated them, let me know. If you somehow haven't read some of these either, maybe we can buddy read. Feel free to DM me on Instagram or Twitter or wherever you find me. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.